Hi, I'm Steve, the introverted traveler. I've made it my mission in life to explore the beaches, deserts, mountains, and even cityscapes around us, and to do so while avoiding contact with as many people as possible. And although I will never hang out with you for any reason, I do invite you to join me on my journey. Come and see the world through the eyes of an extreme introvert. On this edition, we are back in Silver Falls State Park, hiking on a non-waterfall trail near Silverton, Oregon. Along the way, we will see dense, lush forests, consult with backwoods trail maps, avoid dangerous, but minor, trail hazards, and once again find out that the world still has too many damn people. All this and much more on this Introverted Travels. Greetings, and I'm back yet again on yet another adventure. And today, well, I've spent the past few videos. I very rarely, if ever, put up the videos in order. So you may or may not see this out of sequence, and you may or may not see, we're in 2024 right now. You may or may not see this until 2030. But the last few videos, I've complained about constantly being in the woods. I'm always in the woods. All I ever see are ferns and green things and trees. And frankly, I've gotten to the point of burnout. Well, guess where I am today? I'm back in the middle of the freaking forest. No mountains, no ocean, no desert. Oh no, Oregon doesn't have any of those whatsoever. No, Oregon has 1 billion acres of forest, probably 50 or 60,000 little fruit stands run by long-haired weird hippies, and at least 500,000 weed shops on every single corner. I mean, literally, you turn the corner anywhere in Oregon and there's a weed shop. I wouldn't be surprised if I was out here hiking and I went around this bend. Weed shop. Today, I am back in one of my old favorites. I've shot videos here before. I have an entire vlog of the Trail of 10 Falls. It's one of the very first ones I ever did. Go back and find that, because today we are in Silver Falls State Park here near Silverton, Oregon. But we are not doing the most popular hike here, which again is the Trail of 10 Falls. And in case you're wondering, that's a trail that literally has 10 waterfalls. No, today we are doing basically the perimeter trail. It's actually a conglomeration of a couple of trails. It's going to be about, well, according to all trails, like 9.5. So probably about 19 miles today, because this is the part where I say it, and you can just mouth along because you know what the lyrics are. All trails sucks. The meat and the potatoes. And this is going to be very important. The meat and the potatoes of the formula. The trailhead was only about a quarter full. The trailhead is the North Falls parking lot here in Silver Falls State Park. Now, normally I'd be like, oh, it's a quarter full. There's 5 cars, 5 times 4 people per car. That's about 20 people I'm going to see, blah, blah, blah. Okay, we all know the spiel. Today, it's a little bit different because the main trail that all those people are usually here to see is the Trail of 10 Falls. Again, go back and watch the video where I was there. Just do me a favor and go back and watch my other videos because nobody else has. Today we're doing the perimeter trail. And guess what? No one ever does the freaking perimeter trail. It goes around the outskirts. There's no waterfalls on this particular trail. It's just beauty out here. There's, again, forest. There's going to be, no scenic waterfalls or views or anything like that, but we're going to be in the lush woods, and we're going to go around the perimeter of the entire park. And the bonus of doing that, the bonus of coming to an incredibly popular park and doing the one trail that nobody cares about, there's no people. But yeah, it's going to be me ranting and complaining about being in the forest. And it's just going to be me ranting and complaining because that's part of the formula. But you know where I am. We've already said all trail sucks, and there's no hikers out here. So that's what we're doing today. I'm not going to prolong it anymore. Let's get to the whining and complaining, because that's the main event. I should note that the trail of Ten Falls goes one way, and then the trail that I'm currently on branches off. And right after it branches off, right after you get off that, you know, people-filled hell trail that goes to the beautiful waterfalls, but it's still a people-filled hell trail, there's a sign that warns people, you know, hey, you're going in the backcountry now, baby. There is a 1,000-foot elevation gain, and it's a rugged path. Of course, this is like the smoothest, rugged path I've ever experienced, and only 1,000 feet. I mean, unless it's 7,000 or 8,000 and you're coughing up blood, it's not exciting. So, you know, this is just a stroll through the woods on a you know, quiet hiking Sunday, which is never really actually quiet. But yeah, there's a sign to warn people, because, you know, you come up that trail at Ten Falls. It's a medium trail. It's not that difficult, but people could come out here and see that there's a slight elevation gain and literally have a heart attack and die. I guess that's the logic to that sign. But I will tell you what the sign should say, especially for us introverts, is it should say, yeah, 1,000-foot elevation gain, rugged trail, and no people. And that last part, the no people part, it should be in neon. It should be like a Vegas sign. It should have blinking lights all around it and go, right here, no people, ding, 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 jackpot. I mean, they missed an opportunity to speak to a very special, and barely any of us out there, so very small population of hikers, that this trail is a trail where you can actually find solitude and peace when there's not bald maniacs making, you know, YouTube and Instagram videos on a GoPro. But yeah, this is the trail of peace. Well, the trail of Ten Falls is literally the trail of chaos and hell. So yeah, that sign should have been lit up. It should have been like, all introverts this way, no people, no people. There's just a random marker literally in the bushes that says Fire Road. So I'd like to point out, first of all, that's false advertising. That is not a fire road. That is literally right there. That's the middle of the bushes. I mean, I've seen fire roads. You've seen fire roads. I literally sang a song about fire roads just, you know, a few videos back. That's not a fire road. That's the middle of the bushes. Just in case you forgot. So, yeah, I'm sure that's a relic of the past, or maybe I'm not seeing the road beyond or something, but certainly looks like a bunch of ferns to me. So, that sign should say, a bunch of random ferns. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and my non-binary pals, the scariest thing just happened. I heard a very threatening noise in the bushes in the trail ahead of me. And, you know, hearing a very threatening noise, I coughed just to let whatever was about to eat me know that, you know, I might have a little bit of phlegm when it digests me. The most dangerous predator I have ever encountered in the woods came running around the corner. Little vest. I'm a trail runner. Oh my freaking heavens, they're everywhere. It's like an infestation of them out here. And unlike bear and cougar that you encounter in the woods and they hear you and they go running, well, these go running too, but in the direction towards you, not away from you. My heart's, you know, actually my heart's okay now, but it was pounding because I encountered the most dangerous thing you can ever encounter on a trail. A selfish, narcissistic, doesn't care about anybody but him or her or their self trail runner. I swear, I talk about trail runners a lot because they're literally, we're infested with trail runners. Somebody should fumigate the woods with whatever trail runners don't like. I don't know, like safety manuals and, you know, being kind to other people. Did they spray the woods with that? The trail runners might go running in the other direction. Well, it's always handy to be in the middle of the woods and actually have a map. Now, I can probably go into a nice diatribe here, and since I'm in the middle of the woods and I have nothing better to do, I will. That I've run into other hikers in the past who've just sort of been wandering around the forest, and I say, oh, do you have a map? And they say, what's a map? Huh? What? They usually just say no. But in reality, they're saying, huh? Duh, what? Map? Oh, I never heard of that, man. So, it's always nice when they actually provide one. By the way, I am here. The trail of a billion people is somewhere over here, South Falls. I don't know where North Falls is on here, but yeah. So the trail that all the people are on is over here. I'm way over here. That's really kind of a metaphor for my life. Here's where all the people are. Here's where society is centered. And here's where I am, right over here in the middle of, the nether regions. So, yeah, it's nice to have a map, but it's also nice to give people maps because, no one ever freaking uses maps out here in the woods. You would think you come out in the middle of the forest, miles and miles and miles away from civilizations, that you'd bring maps, but, I technically, I don't have a paper map because I do 50-something hikes a year. That would be a lot of paper maps to own. But I, of course, have all trails. Okay, stop laughing. It's better than not. Okay, not really, but it's something. I mean, it points me in the right direction 15% of the time, and other times I have to rely on, mysterious trail maps out in the middle of the woods. But hey, at least I have a map. So, I just passed a group of horse riders, not fellow hikers, but horse riders, thankfully not more trail riders. And I really don't know what to think about horse riders in general. I mean, they're human beings, so of course they're awful, but horses are kind of like giant dogs. And if introverted math allows for cancellation of the soul-sucking presence of humans with the presence of dogs, I gotta contemplate. It might also use horses to cancel out humans as well. And horses are bigger, so maybe one horse cancels out two humans. I don't know. I have to, I have to do some number crunching on that one, and I'll get back to you. But I will tell you that it was about 3 or 4 people, and 3 of the horses were fine, but I guess one of the horses was new, and the rider was having problems controlling it because it encountered a hole in the ground. And I was there too, and apparently, the presence of another human being, that it wasn't riders, it kind of disturbed it, but they got through okay. But I will tell you, the horse got scared by the hole in the ground, and then as I'm passing it, I forgot the hole was there, and I almost fell in it. So I'm scared of it too. I don't blame the horse. I mean, that hole right there, terrifying. Especially somebody like me who's paying absolutely no attention. So both me and the horse averted, danger. We avoided the giant, scary, cavernous hole that probably leads to, the other side of the planet. And now everything's good. The horses have passed. The humans, thankfully, are gone too. So the awful dark cloud that the horses had riding on them, they're gone. And now I'm just out here in the forest making a rant about a hole in the ground. It's Sunday, folks. I mean, I'm out here in the middle of the woods. What do you expect? Like award-winning comedy? No, you're going to get things about horses and people and holes in the ground. So I just passed 2 more horses with 2 more riders, and I've been thinking about the implications for introverted math. So if one horse erases the soul-sucking presence, let's be scientifically accurate here, of 2 people, then if there were 2 horses but only 2 people, that means that one horse eliminated those 2 people right away. So there was nobody riding either horse. But then that other horse, well, it still has the power to erase 2 people, but there weren't 2 other people to erase. So maybe that power to erase carries over to the next couple of people that I meet. So maybe I have a remainder, an introverted remainder in introverted math. And since I saw 2 horses, but only one of them canceled anything out. That means I have 2 more things that I can cancel later on. So I'm going to carry over that remainder. And if I see any more trail runners, or other hikers or anything, you know, they're not there. They don't exist because I have that remainder from that one horse that didn't cancel anything out at the time because, you know, it didn't need to. That's how this works, folks. I mean, I'm not the universe. I didn't create introvert math. I just tapped into its power and, you know, utilize it to my advantage whenever I can. So yeah, if you want to check my arithmetic, you can, but take it up with the universe. I don't make the rules. Okay, so there are 2 things to note here. First of all, I'm meandering through the woods. It's a typical Sunday. When am I not meandering through the thick, dark, green woods? But also, truth in labeling. Trail. I mean, you don't really need to say, it doesn't need a name. It doesn't need any long explanation of what it is. It's just trail with an arrow going that way, as opposed to trail that has a bunch of wood in front of it, and that technically that doesn't have a label of trail because that's not a trail. I don't know what it is, but that's not a trail. This one, though, it's properly labeled, so I know that's a trail. Right there, trail. So I really have no other purpose for this segment of the video other than to tell you that I'm meandering through the woods, and I wanted to mention that there is at least truth in advertising out here in the woods. That is indeed a trail. Yeah, I know this is stupid, but did you not hear the part about meandering through the woods? What the hell else am I going to do? What am I going to, like, come on here and actually say something intelligent? That takes effort. Ew. Well, here's a proper update. So, I am still meandering through the woods. I mean, that's a given right there. Meandering through the woods. Big spoiler alert to that. But I can actually see through the trees over here. I'm actually almost to the main road that runs through, you know, Silver Falls State Park. What this trail is going to do, now that we're off the incline-decline area, away from the horses, thankfully. I like the horses. It's the people on the horses. But anyway, so this trail is actually going to take me literally along the road. I'm going to be walking the road, I don't know, probably like a quarter of a mile or something. And then I'm going to go on the other side of the road and then hit the trail over there. So that's basically it. That's how exciting. You know, so basically the excitement of today is I haven't seen that many other hikers. I think I've seen literally one other hiker. I saw a soul-sucking demon, aka a trail runner, this morning, but I haven't seen any other soul-sucking trail running demons since then. And I've been, you know, trying to speed hike away from people on horseback. Now I'm about to go up a road. I mean, it's not as thrilling as some of my videos, but it's pretty stupid, which is on par with most of my videos. So let's go do something stupid and go hike up a paved road. All right, so I'm actually not sure what road I'm actually on. I don't know if this is the main road in or what. I know there's closed campgrounds down there and all sorts of stuff, but I'm walking to the trail. But as you can see, straight ahead is Salem/Silverton, Trail of Tin Falls, and the dump station. Now, for those of you who've actually been to Salem, Oregon, you know that really there's no difference between Salem and a dump station because they're both awful places full of trashy, terrible things. But yeah, I'm headed towards the Trail of Tin Falls, so I'm headed back in the general direction of my car. I have literally no sense of where I am. I'm wandering through some random road in the middle of the woods. I mean, I can't make myself look cool in the situation because although I have a map, I am basically the equivalent of one of those kidnap victims in a movie that, gets loose and walks around trying to figure out where he or she or they are and, hopes to hail down a car as they go by. That's basically the situation I'm in now, except I don't want to hail down anything that has people in it. I know I'm supposed to go that way. Now, where the hell I am? I don't know. I'm in Oregon. I think I might be in a state park. I'm on Earth. I mean, really, I know what planet I'm on. Isn't that good enough? This is what happens when you don't research your hikes beforehand or even really read the full name of the hike with all the trails mixed in, because this is the Rim Trail. This is my least favorite trail here in Silver Falls because it goes parallel to the Canyon Trail, which is where all the actual waterfalls are, and it will tease you because you'll hear the waterfalls. You don't see any damn waterfalls on this trail. However, what it also does is it connects to South Falls back in that direction, which is a pit hell of tourists and children, and there's no solitude. I had like hours to myself today. I was in a very nice, peaceful, heavenly headspace, and guess what? All my hopes, my dreams, my fantasies, my loves have now been shattered because a bunch of kids were running around going, waterfall, waterfall, and a bunch of tourists were going, hey, look at the waterfall. Oh, people, it's just water falling. Can't you go home and see it on TV? Your homes are nice. Could you just go home? There's no reason for you to be out here, bothering the bald maniacs. Leave it up to All Trails to put the absolute worst part of the hike as the last part, and the part you're going to remember because it's going to be fresh in your mind when you're done with it. I haven't been on the Rim Trail in a couple of years, and I'm always here in the morning, so it's always been quiet when I'm here, but I didn't realize that in the afternoon it is literally the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th circle of hell. I've never seen so many people on a single trail in my life. Well, I've been to Yosemite, so of course I have, but this is bad. This is Forest Disneyland, and I don't say that a lot, only about a couple of spots, but this is awful. I've heard hooting, I've heard hollering. I never, ever, ever make eye contact with fellow humans because to do so is to invite them into your world. Making an eye contact with another person on the trail is kind of like inviting a vampire into your home. It's inviting them to look at you, get into your brain, suck your will to live, and say hello, or my favorite, good morning, or in this case, good afternoon. So I never, ever make eye contact. A guy passes me, of course I'm looking down, no eye contact. Didn't matter. He still decided to invite himself in and say, hey there. And of course, my response with a quick, "Ugh." And I've noticed that much like I did at Saddle Mountain when I grunted at the person that said hello to me there, my grunts are getting so efficient that I'm able to convey the sentiment of F you and why the hell are you in existence, all in just a single noise. I mean, it's marvelous. It's beautiful. I've taken this whole being introverted and rude thing to like a whole new scientific level. It's awesome. But you know what isn't awesome? This trail, because there's people. Oh my heavens. So there were so many people on the rim trail that I literally couldn't film. There were people popping out of the sky. There were people popping out of the bushes. There were people here. There were people there. There were people coming out of the ground. Oh, it was, sorry. Having people flashbacks. People related trauma. So I actually had to overshoot the trailhead. I hear a weird bird thing in bushes somewhere. But so I had to overshoot the trailhead, overshoot where my car is parked, and ditch off onto a side trail, which is actually the trailhead that I started on this morning. And people are shooting through the way. There's a lot going on out here. There's a whole bunch of people by the trailhead. There's weird bird things flying through the woods, and there's people shooting stuff on the other direction. So we're gonna go ahead and do our trail rating now, because this is the only place where I can literally do the trail rating. I have to come out in the middle of the bushes to do anything. Okay, no people, no people. All right, anyway, so if you're new here, or if you just can't remember, from week to week, we rate the trails on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being introvert hell, the worst possible scenario ever for an introvert, and that is Disneyland on the 4th of July. This is where Mickey and Minnie have an armed nuclear weapon that they have put on Big Thunder Mountain. They are threatening all the tourists. They're threatening all the cast members. There's children running around screaming that they want their churros. Children really love churros, and Disneyland really loves to charge like $100 per churro. So the parents are crying, the children are screaming, Mickey and Minnie are trying to kill all of humanity. Oh, it's the worst possible thing you could ever have. Aside from Silver Falls on a Sunday afternoon, apparently. That compares to a 10, which is introvert heaven, introvert nirvana. And that is the middle of a snowfield in Antarctica. Hundreds to thousands of miles from any other human beings. It's just you and a trained, sentient, killer army of penguins. They're not going to kill you, but if anybody else comes by, oh, quack, 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 munch, 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 munch. That, however, because it is solitude, it's the summer, it's warm in that ice field. And those penguins are very, they're very nice. They'll cuddle up to you. They'll keep you warm too. So that's introvert nirvana. That's a 10. On that scale of ridiculously bad to ridiculously good, this trail, I'm actually going to split this trail into 2 parts. So 3/4 of the trail, the 3/4 of the trail that are where I am now, going through the woods, meandering through the backwoods of the state park, that's about a 7 or an 8. During that time, I hardly saw anybody. I saw a couple of people. There were some horse riders. There was a person with a dog, and then there was that awful, terrible trail runner. But I was out there by myself for hours. I had solitude. I had silence, and it was perfect until I reached the road. And until I went to the South Falls area, which is where all this chaos and awfulness started. So the rim trail, the last 4th of the hike, is a 1.5. It is just this shy of Disneyland on the 4th of July. There were people covering that trail. They were like lice. They were like locusts. They were like whatever disgusting insect you can think of. That's what the people on the trail were like. And of course, I just got off that trail, so I'm all amped up. So you're welcome. So that's going to lead us to our misery index, which is a measure of my misery, how the hike has affected my misery. And it's a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being complete fiction, which is no misery whatsoever. I am always miserable to at least a certain degree. And then, of course, a 5 being the worst misery I could ever experience. Today, I'm going to shatter that scale. Most of the hike, I was about a 2.5, which is my default. I'm usually around there. But at this point, coming right off the rim trail, I'm 5 trillion, billion, gazillion, I'm literally just inventing crap to explain how miserable I am. I mean, there is absolutely no excuse for that many humans in one place. There's no excuse for other humans to exist to begin with. I mean, I really got to talk to the universe about that, but oh my heavens. Nature is supposed to be about solitude and getting back to your origins and finding silence and peace and all that stuff. Here I kept getting asked, oh, where's the waterfall? Is there a waterfall there? It's like, go get a map and go find the damn waterfall yourself. So that's where we are on the ratings. It's a 1.5 for the last 4th of this trail. It's about a 7 or 8 for the 3/4. So if you decide to come out here and you just want to do the perimeter trail, do it. It's nice. It's actually really, really nice. Stay away from anything resembling a waterfall. Unless you're here on a weekday when there's nobody around and it's quiet. Just you see a waterfall, run the opposite direction. That's where we are on our ratings today. That's where we are with my mental decay today. And now I'm gonna go back down this trail, back towards the trailhead, and I'll say goodbye to you in a minute. I'm just about back to the trailhead again, since I had to overshoot. And thus, I'm almost back to my car. And boy, am I gonna open that door, jump in, turn it on, hit the gas, and get the hell out of here, because I'm peopled out. And for the most part, I haven't seen that many people today, except for that last. They jammed all the people in the world in that last like hour and a half. But let me just calm down, because it is time for us to say goodbye. Before we do that though, quick recap. So today I did the perimeter trail and a bunch of other trails. I'll put the name again right here, because all trails jam so many things into the name. I can't hold it in my mind. I'm getting old. I'm 45. I can't remember what I did 5 minutes ago, let alone the name of a bunch of trails jammed together. But along the way, we saw some lush, beautiful forests. We saw creeks. We saw horses, and there were enough horses that we may have actually not seen any of the riders, because I have to still work out the introverted math on that. But just like dogs are wonderful, horses are pretty wonderful. They're like big dogs, so their presence and their wonderment is able to cancel out the presence of other people. But I just haven't got all the formulas for that worked out yet, so I'll get back to you on that. But we also saw some mushrooms, we saw some ferns, we saw. But it is time for me to go home and try to work out my psychosis before I have to do this again next week. So, you know what I'm about to say, and you know what's coming. Stay introverted, everyone. And of course, I'll see you in the next adventure.